Okay, so this is the story about how I brought a 4-foot sword to 3 continents and did not get arrested in any airports in China. Stop that white guy! Stop that white guy! He's got a sword! So my name is Joe. I'm an impulsive traveler. 2 years ago, I was in China. I was traveling around the world and I had just stopped in Europe, and then I was going through China, Australia, and then back to Hawaii where I live. And so I was going to China for 2 weeks, and my mom asked me to get her a sword. I don't know why, I don't know like what she wanted the sword for, but it's my mom, I have to get it for her. So I was like, okay, I gotta go find this sword, I gotta go find a sword for my mom. So I'm going around and I found a sword. It was a really nice sword, it looked really nice to me. I thought it was exactly what she wanted and she would really like it. And I bought it, and then the next day I went to the post office and and this is all in Chinese, like by the way, like I was speaking Chinese in all of this, okay? I'm talking to the lady and I'm like, I have to mail this to America, and she was like, what is it? And I was like, it's a sword. And she was like her face was like, and she was like, what do you mean a sword? And I was like, it's a sword. Like it's fake, like it's a decoration sword, like it's not like sharp. And she was like, and then she like looked at like the other ladies, and the other ladies had like heard that part, and they were like, and she was like, you can't mail that. And I was like, why? And she was like, it's illegal, it's against the law to mail a sword, it's not like, it's illegal. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, well, how do I get it? Like, can I bring this to an airport and I can like check it, right? And she was like, no, absolutely not. You cannot check the sword, you can't do anything. And I was like, I have to get this to my mom. Like, this is my mom's sword. Like, I bought a sword in China for my mom. And she was like, nope. She was like, you should just go return it and ask for your money back. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. So then, after doing that, I like did a bunch of research in my little hostel on my freaking iPod. I found like a company like FedEx, but like in China, and I think they would have done it. Rented a bike. I was riding around China with this 4-foot sword like attached to me, and go 13 miles or something, like something crazy, like across the city, and it's freaking closed. And it's also like in the boons. Like I'm in not probably a good place in the middle of China. I'm like the only white person for like 300 miles, okay? And because I'm in like Mongolia, China, like I'm like in middle China, okay? So that didn't work. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna go on the plane and we're just gonna see what happens. So I show up to the airport. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be such a long story. Keep listening for the next parts. So I show up to the airport and I have to go through one flight to another airport to connect to go to Australia. So it's like a whole thing. So like the first airport actually put my things through, it was all good, they checked it, they didn't even ask any questions, so I was like, great. And then we go to the baggage claim at the next airport, and I'm like standing at baggage, and they have little video screens, so you can see them taking your bags off the airplane and putting them on the carousel. And so I'm watching, and I don't see my bags, and I'm like, ooh. And then I see it come out, and the guy literally picks it up, and he looks at it, and he's like, and then he walks off the screen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is when I get arrested. This is the end of my trip. This is the end of my life, I guess. Like, sorry, mom. And I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna come get me. They're gonna come get me. And then I look over and it's like sitting. It's like leaning up against the wall next to some lady that's like a super official lady. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there it is. So I was like, like panting. So then I literally just, like, I don't know what came over me, but I just, she was like talking to some lady, and I just walked. And I just scooped it. I just walked by, scooped it, walked right out of the airport, and then I had to go to the next flight, so then I walked right back into the airport on the top, and then went right to security, and I was like, oh my gosh, fucking gosh. Like, I'm gonna hear on the announcements, like, stop that white guy, he's got a sword. I'm like, no, not me, like, ah. And so then I am checking in for my next flight, and the lady was like, yo, you have to put this in oversized. And I was like, okay, that's fine, don't worry about it, don't even open it, nothing in here. So I go to oversized, the guy's like, all right, let me just put it through the window here, and then once I say it's good, we're good to go. So he puts it through the window, and he's like looking at me, and I'm like, and then he like doesn't hear anything, so he like sticks his head in the door, and he's like, and then they like take him back, and then he comes back with another guy, and he's like, what is this? And I was like, it's a sword, but it's fake, it's like not real, it's fake, it's decoration. I just kept saying that, like, decoration, not real, fake, not sharp, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so he's like, open it. So we open the box, and he literally takes out the sword, and this is in the middle of like a Chinese airport, which means there's like millions of people here, okay? He takes it out, and it goes, shing, like in the movies, like, shing, and everybody in this airport's like, and there's just this giant sword, and he's just like, and then they're like touching it, and then he like is like, okay, all right. So he puts it back in, they zip tie the shit out of it, and they put it back through the thing, and he's like, okay, you're good. And I was like, oh my fucking gosh, like, and then the next part gets even crazier when I get to Australia, but that's the story about how I got this freaking 4-foot sword through 2 Chinese airports, didn't get arrested, and I'm still here to this day. And if you want to hear about the next part, let me know in the comments.